What's up, guys? This is Xander Rose. Today we're looking at the last bootleg that I released, my Lemonade remix, Lemonade by Mercer remix. It was for his contest. Yeah, I think it's a really cool track. It's kind of a fusion between like an in rotation style tech house and G house, that kind of new wave party tech type of stuff. So yeah, it's a dope track. Just a couple items of house cleaning before we move on to the video. First is that I have a new song releasing on November 13th. It's on Incursion Recordings Invasion Sound Volume 6 compilation. It's the song Give It To Me Like. You've probably heard it in a bunch of my mixes and whatnot. So that's finally dropping in just a couple weeks. And to promote that, just 2 days earlier, I'll be playing a live stream. So details for all that stuff will be down below if you don't know. Also, just another quick note. Most of you guys, like I think over 90% of you guys, are not actually subscribed. So if you want to see more content like this and keep up to date with my new releases, all that jazz, you should subscribe and also follow me on my other socials. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so we're here in the project file. I just want to touch on first the elements that I actually used from the original. Since this is a remix, I did use some of the elements from the original, not too many. I believe that I just used 2, if I'm not mistaken. So I used the vocal, 3 actually. I used the vocal, the ARP, and the keys from the original. So let me just find the vocal here. So we'll take off all of its effects, and then I'll show you the before and after. I did pitch it down, so you'll hear it in a lower key than the original. Nothing going on with the Ritz. You got to have a J-O-B if you want to be with me. So that's kind of what it sounds like dry, pitched down from the original. And actually, let's just go one by one on these. So this is actually lowering the formant a bit here. This is a great free plugin, Vocal Auto Pitch. So I'm lowering the formant. I just didn't like how high the original was, so that's why I did that. Then I do some stereo imaging on it, OTT compression, and then I'm doing a suite of things in CLA Vocals. So it's just delay, compression, a bunch of stuff. Sausage and then a bunch of EQs, which let's just see what they're doing. This one is just a functional one for doing low passing, high passing. This is an actual like expressive one, and then this is getting rid of some bad frequencies. I just found that the sample, to be honest, wasn't that of high quality because I think it's like a disco sample or something that Mercer pulled from. So I just had to do some cleaning up for it. Next up, let's take a look at this ARP, which in my version sounds like this. And here's how I use it in the drop. And so you'll notice there was some pitch automation going on. That's basically happening down here. So I'm throwing it up and down. I think it's entire octaves, I want to say. Sounds like this. And so I'm doing that on, let me find the, here it is, ARP. So I just have the range set to 12 and then mode on stretch. And then I'm automating this pitch up and down by 12. Just to add some variety from the original sample there. And then if we're looking at the actual, I think here it plays full as well. We're looking at the actual effects that are on it. Again, we have a whole suite of them. So we'll just go one by one here. So Sausage Fattener doing compression and distortion. Then a Serum Effects Rack, which is doing a flanger, phaser, chorus, and compression. Then we have, this is a really cool plugin that I've been using a lot lately, which is an auto panner. So I'll usually set this at different rates, and you can even use different waveforms for how it will go between left and right automatically. I've been doing that a lot instead of manually drawing in different panning. Then some stereo widening, a sidechain compression, and an EQ. So this is without effects. So it really completely changes the sample from the original. We can hear it more so here where it's consistently playing. So if we listen here, and we'll just keep the sausage fattener on so it's a bit louder, but so that sidechain actually adds a lot of kind of the feel and groove to it there. So it's playing a big part. And then the last one we have is just this keys. Which, as you can pretty much hear, the main thing I'm doing is just I'm just compressing it and distorting it. Because here's the original. And then also I think I'm doing some busy work with EQs, not too much. So just to harden that up, and yeah, make it a bit more apparent. So the next thing we'll go through here is just the main pattern for the bass, which sounds like this. So the sub is pretty much the same sub that I use in every song. From an Evo Sound pack, only sub you need. Sometimes I'll add in some of this mid-low, but I didn't on this one. Just a really great sub. Not really any processing other than I route it to a bus with my kick, which I then have multiband compressed with the low band highly compressed. Little compression on the high end just to push the click so it pushes through the mix. And no compression on the master, but just the low end pressed really hard. So let's go flick over to 1. So I guess this is actually a patch that was made to sound like the turn off the lights patch. And if we go to it here, this is what it sounds like just with a sidechain compression and EQ on it. So I'm just dirtying it up with sausage fattener basically. That's pretty much all that's being done to it. Yep. So very basic there. And then to accent it throughout, I believe there's also some automation going on. Yeah, I think right here. That's adjusting the hyper mix, which kind of adds that seventh to it basically. Yeah, and then all that's going on in terms of effects here is this almost like reversed bass sound. Again, that's from an Evo Sounds pack, and then here I have these reversed sweeps that I made and filtered or something from some other pack. But basically, I chopped up the ARP and the vocal to go along, fill space there. So not too much complicated going on with the bass because we had these top layers, this ARP also hitting at the same time. So I'll just take all that off. The only other synth that's ever doing anything is this viola in the break, which I believe is from a Seven Skies Cashmere pack. Yeah, Seven Skies Cashmere. So it's just strings viola, and then I'm automating the what's it called, vibrato on it. Just makes that kind of sound to it, like that, as it goes on. Yeah, and so that's pretty much it for the main elements. And then we just have build-up elements here, so pretty standard. This is a kick that's being high-passed so that you don't hear the lows in it. So we see that happening here, I believe. And then it's pretty much the same over here for that build. Yeah, so let's take a look at the drum work. We'll just start off with this first section. So pretty standard kick. We have a tom here that's filling this space when it's not being filled by the kind of reverse womp, like that. Then just standard clap work. We have 2 claps going on right now. And then one thing that I've been kind of doing more frequently now is having this hat that only hits on the second and third hit rather than on each offbeat. This is the pattern I really like. And then just one additive clap there. And then we have that effect right there of this little laser going on. And that other vocal. Really, this should live up here with this vocal. So yeah, super simple, and then we just add in an offbeat hat. We actually have 2 offbeat hats. So again, in terms of processing, it's really just the kick being multiband compressed with the sub. And then all the rest of the drums just have things like, they're all bussed into a sausage fattener that has really high percentages, just so that the drums sound unique. They've all bussed reverb together. And I've been telling you to do this, where I just have full wet, no dry, and then just adjust the mix percentage. And then you can automate it throughout the track that way. Yeah, and then just EQ to cut out the extreme lows for all of them. And then I think the only one that's not bussed in that is the toms. Yeah, for the kick, I think I went with a Noizu kick. Yeah, Noizu, kind of chiller kick. Yeah, so that's that. What else to talk about with this song? So here's the pre-drop fill. So I have this kind of interplay between different perks going on and these 4 laser shots. And let's take a look at this Noizu laser, because I do quite a lot of processing on it to make it, basically with all these samples, the goal is to just do a bunch of processing so that they sound more unique. So I put a Serum Effects on it. If we listen to it with, that's just doing chorus work here. So without it, it sounds like this. So it just makes it a little bit unique, but you could even add other, like I'll add like multiband compression and a bunch of other stuff onto it, just to make it sound more unique. And then we have just basic effects from Noizu and Cashmere packs going on. It's a really simple song. It's not really that complicated. Very simple stuff, yeah. So that pretty much wraps it up. If you want to see more about my mastering and mixing process, I've done that in some other dedicated videos. I did a full breakdown for the song I did with Drake Hoffman, so you can see that there. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Oh, here's another thing that I do, just to highlight this. I made a reverse out of the keys. So you do that by recording one of the stabs, putting it into a Edison thing and then just slapping it with a bunch of reverb and then reversing that sample. Yeah. So, like I said at the start of the video, I do have a song coming out on November 13th, so there's lots of links and whatnot in the description below for that. If you do want to follow me on any other social, on Spotify to stream my music, etc., you can do all that down below in the description, and I'll put a pinned comment as well. So yeah, if you enjoyed, please do subscribe, like the video, and let me know what you'd like to see next in the comments. Happy dancing.